Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah al-Kareem. We begin as always by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sending salawat and salam upon our beloved Master Muhammad, his honorable companions, noble family, and those who tread the straight path. May Allah make us from among them. Ameen. Today inshallah we'll speak on why fasting, Sawm, is ordained. As we know that there are some acts of worship wherein we know the hikmah or the maqasid, and there are others which are beyond us. Fasting is one of those acts of worship wherein Allah clearly mentions what is the objective of the ibadah, what's the purpose, why has He made it fard. The Quran explains in Surah Baqarah, O you who believe, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, kutiba alaykumus siyam, fasting has been ordained on you, kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum, like how it was ordained on those before you, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you develop Allah consciousness. So the whole objective of this exercise of fasting for 29 or 30 days, which the entire ummah will do, is to adopt or to acquire Allah consciousness. How to acquire Allah consciousness? What is Allah consciousness? Allah consciousness basically means that we are always remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any condition we are. We are conscious of the fact that the relationship exists between the servant and the master. Right? That we are conscious of all times that we owe our rights to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We owe Him our allegiance. The other, the hikmahs of fasting is that when a person fasts, this weakens the carnal desire and thoughts and temptation. Right? The Hakims mention that the less you eat, the more control you have over your aql. As we know, the body is made up of, our body as we know it is made up of two parts. It's made up of the jasad, the actual physical being, and it's made up of the ruh, which is the soul. Both are different in their nature. The jasad is made from the earth. Minha khalaqnakum. So its needs and requirements will be fulfilled through what comes from the earth, which is food. And the ruh, the soul, is the aql. It's angelic in its nature. يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي. It's angelic in its nature. So its needs or requirements are from a spiritual source. Now, one of the other hikmahs of fasting is to sympathize with those who are less fortunate. And you look at this, that a person who is driving, he'll never be able to understand what the pain of a person who is walking is unless they put their car to the side and they actually walk. Then they'll understand and they'll appreciate. Like that, the hadith al-Qudsi, wherein Rasulullah ﷺ mentions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains every act of the son of Adam is for himself except for fasting. That's for me and I will reward him. Why? Is because only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the extent of our fast and the juhud that's coming from our fast. Whereas the other ibadah that we undertake, whether collectively or individually, it is perceived by others. Charity, salah, all these things is perceived by others. One of the other things of fasting is that it's a detox of the body. It eases the stomach, it purifies the blood, etc. It cleanses ourselves. And the last of the hikmahs and objectives of fasting is fasting was ordained to create within us the ability to tolerate difficulty, to bear burdens. And this would vary from place to place, person to person, but once we get the hang of this, once we get we get the hang of being able to curb and entail our nafs for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we tolerate this hunger without complaining or without giving up. We fast this long 17 hours of fasting. It creates within us the spiritual strength to be able to endure the other hardships and difficulties that we might go through in fulfilling the other ahkam and the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us tawfiq to fast how we're supposed to fast, staying away from those things which take away from the spirituality of that fast. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us tawfiq to make the most from our fasts, and that we fast all 29 days like how we fasted the first day. Ameen. Wa akhiru da'wana.